Okay, so we're back for session 3 of our Monday campaign, Bitter Grudges. I want to go ahead and do a quick breakdown of our last session so everybody's up to speed, and then we will begin. Last time you had all passed through the ruined checkpoint along the road to Lynrid. After traveling for some time, you reached a point where a decision must be made. Either camp for the evening or push through the last few hours of travel and the evening to make it to the city, but suffer the consequences, or the effects, I guess you could say, of exhaustion. Deciding not to test your luck any further, seeing as how you'd already gotten into a fight up until this point, you chose to rest. And as you were setting up camp and deciding exactly how to take watch, we were introduced to our 5th party member, Deidre. Immediately met with some suspicion, but otherwise accepted to help take watch. During these watches, a few interesting events happened. Shad stumbled upon a few hobgoblins who were sneaking through camp attempting to reach the well for some water. Ultimately, not looking to disturb, but figured their presence might cause an adverse reaction from the caravan, so to speak. And Bedivere, at the tail end of your watch, a figure walking just above your camp, suspicious with something kind of strange about him, but ultimately harmless, as they would just give you a simple nod before continuing along on the path. And so, as you press forward, some information was revealed between you all. I guess some before your camp and then some after camp, as far as what's been going on in the local area as of late. The creature from the checkpoint being on the surface was quite strange. Them, for the most part, being like underworld dwellers, I guess you call them. And some information about the orcs of Uruk coming to light, having fought a necromancer of sorts and undead hobgoblin high in the Dudas mountain. On approach to the city, you'd all be told by Carwin to please accompany him to the Great Hall, as due to the recent activity in the area, the chief, Bowen, himself would be interested in hearing your experience. And so, ultimately, as you finally arrived to the city of Lynrid, the outskirts, the walls, I guess, of which, showing obvious tear from some sort of attack, or hard to say exactly, but definitely showing the wear and tear of some sort of interaction. Large, thick roots kind of bursting through, but not in any type of key strategical points, right? Just kind of randomly dispersed throughout. And so, as you made your way in, the caravan fully arriving, coming to a stop, you immediately followed Carwin straight through, and it is not hard to miss the tour of Lynrid. And so, as a group, you made your way there. You, Shad, you saddled, or I guess stabled, I should say, Erasmus, and the 5 of you climbed and made your way into the Great Hall of Lynrid. Standing before you, at least a figure familiar to one of you at the very least, stood Bowen Battleborn himself. A number of advisors all around him, kind of, lifting his head to see you, and that is where we left off. And and I won't forget about the buffet of various like charcuterie or whatever you want to fucking call it, all there on display. And so that is where we'll pick up. Let me go ahead and get some music going, and we'll drop right in. So, Saturday, yeah. So as you all kind of make your way in, this figure, visually not very, I wouldn't say the most opposing or daunting looking individual, but definitely kind of carries himself in a very shoulder high, kind of respectful, definitely of a military background. And so as Carwin kind of leads the way in, he takes a few steps forward, kind of rushing ahead of you all, and immediately kind of goes and starts speaking to Bowen, kind of openly declaring, and as the rest of you kind of filter in, kind of one by one as a group, kind of the normal kind of greetings, and then he immediately kind of goes into, while accompanying the caravan back to, or while accompanying a caravan to Lynrid, right, kind of goes into the spiel about what happened, what he saw, his experience, and then kind of introduces you all as a group. These individuals were there. They faced another creature while I was attempting to track down the one that shot me with an arrow. I figured with all of the recent happenings in the area that you want to hear their testimony, and I think, or rather, this one here kind of motions towards you, Talifer. Has been specifically requested by you. Bowen kind of draws his gaze over to Talifer and like gives a nod. I mean, he obviously recognizes, right, that you get up, you've got all the makings, right? You've got the pin, right? Is that what it is? Like a pin?
Yeah, it's like a little quartz pin on his lapel, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. He you see him kind of see that and then kind of look at you and just nod. And kind of steps forward. Kind of brushes away his advisors who are kind of standing back. You can see even from the angle that you're standing at, they're basically standing, kind of hovering over this local area map, so to speak. And there are a few pieces on the map, kind of like large, like just to display, what and where, assuming, patrols and stuff like that. And so, as Bowen kind of steps forward, welcome to Lynrid. If Carwin has spoken for you, then I think that is more than enough. So, what can you all tell me about the path to Lynrid and what troubles you found yourselves in contact with?
Aleph sort of looks around and sees that no one else is stepping forward, so he'll sort of step forward, and he'll just do a fairly short sort of curt bow, and just say, Chief Bowen, my name is Talifer Abkador. I'm a representative of the Poets' Court, and you asked to see me, sir. The roads here are somewhat more disheveled than they were when I was heading south last, and it would appear that there seems to be fewer of your men on the road. We encountered a creature not too far out of the city, and I would imagine that means you're not able to defend it as you once were.
There's been quite a lot of activity of late. He kind of, when you mention your name, he kind of gives like a knowing look. before he kind of goes into talking about like the local area and kind of answering your questions, you are the son of Cador App, and he kind of looks around, realizing his advisors have gone. The chieftain of Torakarn.
I am. Yeah, Cador is my father.
I see. Kind of gives.
Why is that?
Oh, just a curiosity, nothing more. He just kind of. You can tell he's thinking something over him, but he doesn't really give much detail, like even in his face.
I'll park that one for later then.
Fair enough. Yes. Yes, there's been a lot of recent activity as of late, and it has been difficult. I have asked for assistance from the High Chief. Yeah, we have yet to receive that assistance. So,
is that activity across the border? Sorry. Thanean activity.
We'll come back to that. Kind of realizing the crowd. He will kind of look over. So Shad is making his way towards the buffet table.
Yes, he would like to be sneaky about it. If you would like him to roll stealth, I would be entertained to see what the result of that was.
Sure.
I invite this failure. Oh, that's actually not terrible.
I mean, it's in a room.
It's not great.
Yeah. So, you can see those of you who stood, standing directly in front of the chief himself, can see like he looks over and like there's this confused kind of look that kind of crosses his face as he sees Shad, who is a tall, kind of slender individual, kind of standing over by the table with the spread of food. He sees and he wants to say something, but he kind of turns his attention back. And you actually kind of step down from where he's kind of been standing this whole time and move closer to the group. And he looks at you, Bedivere.
Yes.
A lot of... He's looking close, but there's a bit of hesitation.
Speak your mind, for I will answer.
He kind of gives a look to Talifer and then back to Bedivere. You are Elvish, are you not?
Not wholly. Not fully, I mean.
Mm.
Why?
Well, to be where you are now is quite brave of your kind to show their face, although you don't necessarily have the same look as the ones I am used to seeing. Go ahead, Talifer.
Talifer will just interject and say, forgive me, my lord, but I saw this one. He took down a beast far greater and far larger than any I've seen taken in quite some time, all by himself, pretty much. If you ask me, sir, then he can be trusted.
All right. You are not of Thanea, are you, though? This question is directed at Bedivere.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry, but I wasn't, right? That Phanea was the upper continent. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're not. Yeah, Phanea
Yeah,
is the.
thanks.
Well, it's another city-state, but yeah.
That's what I meant.
Right. Well then. Do not be surprised if you get a few strange looks in your direction, but I will go ahead and, on the strength of Talifer's word, I will, allow you to, remain within Lynrid for however long you seek to be here. So, what was this creature that, you so mightily slayed?
A huge centipede. Big enough to eat a man whole.
At least one man.
Actually, he wrote a small poem about it, I think. Maybe I should fetch it for you.
I did, and I gave it to you specifically.
Yeah, I
Bedivere,
fetched
so
it.
that,
I know.
so that you could read it
I'm
out
looking.
loud to everyone.
You start searching your person, they're trying to find the thing.
Yeah, it's in the bag, and I'll grab it and take it out, and there's like splunges of centipede goo on it because I didn't take good care of it.
Yeah, he'll kind of wave it away. I trust the word of a member of the poet's court. Strange to see a creature, or to hear of a creature like that, but it is not. It seems quite in line with what is happening, what has been happening around here recently. He just kind of gives you a nod, but and then looks over to the orc, especially, right? I assume you are of Uruk.
Indeed.
Do you carry a message from Druze, or?
Not a particular one, but I was instructed to travel here and be at your service, whatever needed. And indeed, you may call me Gash. You may call me Gash.
Yeah.
Are we here? Are we in a private setting by now, or is
No,
are there many people
you're basically
watching?
standing in the. I mean, it is private, as in it's only you standing here, but you're standing in like a large, kind of like an entrance hall, basically.
Indeed, when we were attacked at the checkpoint, the area around it seemed to be in the same situation as your walls.
See. Yes, that is most troubling. So, then, the outer checkpoint has fallen.
Well, it has been fixed to an extent.
Oh.
We weren't able to save anyone, but it should be navigable for now.
No men, though. No soldiers guarding.
Not for now, but, well, the checkpoint was, it seemed beyond repair, but guards can pass through it now.
Yeah, he kind of, at the mention that nobody was there, no men or anything like that, he just kind of sighs. You can tell, I mean, without having to make a roll, all of you can kind of tell that something has kind of been weighing on Bowen as of recent, right? He looks a bit stressed out, so to speak, like, you know, like he's been going through it. Then your presence is appreciated, and may it continue to grow the relations between Vogmutir and the orcs of Ura.
Always an honor.
He sees Deidre, but then it's almost like he doesn't have the mental capacity to deal with like an old lady standing here. So he just kind of turns and looks to the tall figure that is currently palming mini pork pies, as you'd said, Shad. And kind of turns to you, Talifer, looking for the explanation for this one. And who
Talifer shakes his head.
is this brazen individual who helps themselves to what I have not yet offered
Does Shad realise he's talking to him or about him?
You can tell.
Shad's pretty focused at the moment. No, Shad's pretty focused at the moment. He's weighing up his options. I've been guessing what's there, Trill. Can you describe what's on this buffet for us by any chance?
Oh yeah, absolutely. A number of savory snacks, breadsticks, mini pork pies, as you've said. A whole charcuterie board of a number of different, salted and cured meats, as well as a minor but still few cheese options. If you're familiar, you might.
Is there any kind of showy centerpiece to this culinary display?
Probably not. No, Bowen's a bit more of a kind of like a function over form.
Okay, well, Shad's gonna probably be eyeing the cheese board at this point and just thinking how he can make this work, because it's not quite at the edge. It's I'd have to reach out and it's going to be a bit obvious. Shad thinks he's got the perfect cover at the moment, and nobody's noticed him at all.
Oh, so you don't even hear the
No, he's the cogs are whirring.
Right. Okay. Talifer, you've heard this at least. Seeing Shad just basically ignore him, Bowen kind of turns to you with a bit of an amused look on his face. But
Talifer sort of laughs and smiles, embarrassed a little bit, because obviously this man is like one of the heroes of Vogmaldir, and Talifer has always wanted to meet him in person, and now he has to meet him in person with a deranged plague doctor man munching away next to him. I assure you, he's no friend of mine, my lord. He just sort of tagged along from where we were traveling. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. Shad, can you stop filling your mouth and get over here?
And with that, Shad will just sort of like do the look rigid and turn. And he says, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry, chatty man. Well, I think I'm happy to present myself to this fine gentleman. And please allow me to introduce myself. I would say I'm a man of wealth and taste. I've been around for many a long year, and so no, not that. Good to meet you. My name's Shad. You can call me Dave."
Is Shad staying right by the buffet, or is he like approached? Like how does that look?
Shad's gonna do that thing of a small animal that's been caught eating food that it shouldn't have, and it's gonna sort of like be shifting around a bit while staying close by, and he's just trying to get the last of. He's just trying to make a grab at a small wedge of cheese before he is drawn away from the buffet, and he's trying to read Bowen and to see what his reaction to Shad is.
Yeah, there's a slight amusement on his face, but I would say, without having to make a roll, there's also like a "what the fuck are you doing" kind of, he's kind of, this is probably the biggest display of disrespect that he's experienced in a long time, but he knows that it's probably not from like an extremely purposeful or at least that's what he suspects, right?
Very well, and Shad will probably pick up on that at this point and just make the last grab, and he'll grab a lump of cheese. Doesn't know what kind of cheese it is. He may intend to inspect it later, and he's going to approach the group, and he's going to sidle up behind Bedivere, and he's going to just whisper in Bedivere's ear as he sort of like shoves the cheese into his hand. Says, just stick that in your pocket for a moment. We'll meet up and divvy it up later. So my fine sir, how could I help you? What is your question?
He's not speechless, but he's just not talking, right? And he's just kind of looking up and down. That is an interesting get up you have going.
Oh, well, sir, this is the garb of my trade. I am but a humble gravedigger who has found himself, in extraordinary times, thrust into unusual circumstances, you could say.
Hmm. Unusual indeed. I don't think I have ever seen a person wearing any kind of motions to the mast like that.
Really?
Why is it that you wear it?
Oh, the coat. It is a sign. It is a somber coat. It's the sort of things that people expect at funerals, where gravediggers are. They like the somber look, and the hat. Well, it gives a certain level of decorum. The shovel. Well, I'm just so attached to it. I've had it for so long. It's the only one I've ever had. It's had 5 handles and 3 heads.
Go ahead, Talon.
Think about the sheep is easier here.
Yeah.
My lord, if you will, he told us he had quite a nasty skin condition under there, and that's why he obscures his face like that.
Is that right?
I have not seen his face or what he looks like under there.
Bedivere, go ahead.
After seeing Shad just pocketing all that food, I just start doing the same after he literally made me put it into my bag. Because for me, lacking that proper courtly etiquette, it seems like that's the thing you do in these situations. You just take whatever you want.
Okay. So Bedivere turns and goes towards the buffet as well.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah, Bowen is I see, but how can you go ahead, Deidre.
Deidre will message Bedivere to just stand there and don't indulge in Shad's fantasies.
You get like a weird look, eyes wide open, because I knew you would do that. I knew you'd cast a spell.
Yeah. And you see me with like the expression on my face is trying to calm you because she knew this will freak you out. But she tries to diffuse the situation a little bit before Telefer throws all of you out the window.
So, how can you trust a man? You haven't even seen his face. I have welcomed you into my hall. I have allowed you to indulge yourself with much of the food that you have stuffed away in however many pockets it is that your coat has. Surely we could see eye to eye.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, my lord. Perhaps I was invited under false pretenses. I was under the impression that we were here to give you information of what we'd seen, and I would not like to impose. The man said we would be fed. I took him at his word. As for my condition, it is terribly distressing to all who lay their hands on it. It could make them violently ill at times. It really is not something that I would wish to boil the visage in front of you. I am terribly ugly.
As you look, Bowen is pretty unmoving in this regard. He simply responds, I have a strong stomach. Feel free. And then kind of stands there. He's standing there with his hands kind of not directly holding onto his weapon or anything like that, but he's definitely not standing there just, lackadaisical. He's kind of, he's attempting to kind of project this image of sternness.
Well then, sir. It appears that I was indeed brought here under false pretenses. Because here I was, about to provide what I thought was sought. But here you intend to make this what appears to be an ultimatum. This is not a position of friendship at all. And I have no desire to be here any longer.
Caesar, go ahead.
Follow me, milord. This one was on the front line of fighting the giant centipede. I think he was the first one to actually engage with the beast. I guess his actions, also speak for him.
I will give you a freebie before I depart. I have seen the effect on your gait before, though not as focused. And with that, I wish you better luck with your questioning in the future, and Shad will go to leave.
Bonus, speak up. Wait. There's been strange times as of recent, and so a strange figure must be questioned. But if the others speak to your involvement in slaying the creature, you can surely understand my hesitation. One does not see one covered up in the way that you are normally.
Well, none of us can help the way we're made, sir, or the way they find themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But I would hope you would give a little respect to somebody's modesty.
Mm-hmm. Bedivere.
I'd like go to the closest party member and hear speak out in a quite noticeable tone, so he notices. I am of the opinion that to judge a man on his actions and not on his looks or what he doesn't want to show you. I thought a good leader would know that, like indirectly challenging him. We're going all in.
We're going
And
all
I'm
in.
dragging you with me.
Gash is taking none of this shit. Like, unlike you, if he messes up, it could be a diplomatic incident. So, no thanks.
Understandable.
There's been some time since anybody was brave enough to speak to me that way. I think in recent memory, the only one that comes to mind is the High Chief himself. So. Go ahead, Tyler.
My lord, I appear. It appears we've all got off on the wrong foot here a little bit. None of these people have anything to do with me whatsoever. Let me just start by saying that. You've met my father. He and these people are all cut of a very, very similar cloth, sir, in that they tend to speak their mind without really thinking an awful lot about what the fuck's coming out of their mouths, and I'll sort of look at a certain couple of individuals very, very clearly. But please, my Lord Bowen, we are at your service. How can I help you? As a member of the Poets Court, I take full responsibility for everything else that comes out of their mouths after I've just said this now.
Okay. Go ahead, Deidre.
Yeah, I would like to make an impression by first casting Read the Air to distract Bowen a little bit and make him more favorable to us.
Okay.
I think that's recall knowledge.
I don't know the rule, but I think you already made an impression.
Using society. Okay.
Just I think to control finding it. Yeah. +1.
Oh,
Oh,
Well,
everything.
That's not including the +1, I think, from the check.
yeah. This is to gain information about the immediate social situation.
Yeah, make an
Um,
impression is to improve his attitude. So it's not necessarily for everyone here, but yeah, try to influence him a bit by I can talk.
make sure we don't get
Is it-
executed.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, try to get any goodwill from Bowen by smooth talking it and not just blatantly speaking my mind.
Okay.
Yeah, so how I would do that is I would step out from the group, and I might just be a middle-aged lady, but I'm from around here and from small town Livanavon. I'm not sure if I pronounced it correctly. Yeah, I've seen.
You don't know how to pronounce your
don't-
hometown?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I've lived my entire life in just small villages, traveled around a little bit, but I'm from around, so I know actions do really matter. I don't know if he's actually truthful, but for now he has a lot of information about the creature. He saw it up close, he fought it. That might be of use. So, yeah, not in a position to speak, but yeah, just let's hear him out and see if the information he got makes up for his otherwise secretive nature.
Go ahead and roll the diplomacy check here. Instead of giving you a bonus to the roll, I'm gonna just make it much easier because of the natural 20 on the society skill check. Wow. You want a hero point then?
Yeah, it's a reroll, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And you take it no matter what it is. That's the only difference. Okay.
Well,
Yeah, that's right. Bowen kind of acknowledges your words. Right. Then we shall call it a misunderstanding. But now you understand. Moving forward. In any case, I admire the bravery. And he will reach his hand out to shake yours, better.
Okay, I'll shake his hand. A little suspicion, a little side eye, because of the elven comment, but I'll shake it.
Yeah. He kind of firmly grasps your hand and shakes. Then as he lets go, he turns to Shad.
Okay, well, like my daddy used to say, well, it's all right. As long as you're doing the best you can. And it's all right as long as you lend a hand, and I am happy to help you, sir. Now we've got that terrible unpleasantness out of the way.
Well, he reaches his
Would
hand
you
out to
like-
shake yours.
The Shad will look, and Shad will sort of like go and shake his hand and see what comes of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll me. I would say here either. Actually, I'll give you the best odds at it. Go ahead and roll me a reflex. 17. Okay.
Yep.
He grasps your hand. And as you shake, he kind of lets go, and as he pulls back, a bit of your glove comes down just enough to, for like a single flashing moment, expose like the color of your skin. He does this. Bowen does this as he's shaking your hand. As he lets go, he kind of quickly does it. But he does it so quickly that he does it and then immediately kind of sets it bright as he's shaking your hand, right? Like it's like a quick, like, oh, what the, and by the time you pull your hand away, everything is fine with your glove.
Yeah, but it's so quick. Does Shad suspect he's been exposed here?
Roll me a perception check.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay. Shad is, takes his hand back and. Very well. Now the unpleasantness is all out of the way.
Indeed.
Would you like to hear my story?
Well, I think I've got most of it. Kind of turns and looks at the others. Battled a creature. So, he turns his back to you, actually, Shad. And kind of takes a few steps away as he's like walking back up towards. He doesn't necessarily have like a throne. That's not really like the style, I guess. But he definitely has like a seat that he kind of, that he has pulled up next to this large kind of table. As it is, yes, I do have, certain things have been going on lately, and I feel that it is probably connected to what you experienced on the way. Not only the beast that you had to face, but also the state of the checkpoint and the men that have been presumably lost at this point. As of recent, there's been a lot of activity within the in the area, as well as the woods, just and he kind of mentions offhandedly in a specific direction, right? Like, over there, supposed to, like, for the most part. He as he kind of does so, it has been trying times, to say the least. I have sent patrols out. None have returned. I am not sure what to expect. We've had these assaults on our walls, and as Talifer made mention, my resources here and along the roads have been dwindling. It is troubling times. However, are any of you particularly adept at tracking or used to the wilds at the very least? A number of creatures? Anything of the like?
I think Gash would raise his hand at this point.
Okay.
I'm not an expert by any means, but I can highlight myself in the wilds.
We keep finding creatures pushed from the forest out in the open plains and the area around Lynrid. I think that there's something within the woods just north that are either spooking or something. I've sent a number of patrols, I think 3 at this point, and like I said, none have returned.
Would you reckon Theneas has anything to do with it? It would be hasty to point fingers, but your man was attacked by elves, presumably. He was drugged with venom.
Yeah, he kind of nods at the mention of like Theneas, and with that he kind of actually shoots Tyler for like a specific look. Just like a, like at the mention of Theneas, right? Comes back around. What about you? And looking to Bedivere. What is your specialty, you would say? Surely you can take down fantastic beasts, large enough to, eat a whole man, I think was said.
Hellifer added many men. I want
At
to
least.
remind you of that. At least, yes.
At least one man, sorry.
Yeah. Well, I might not be as good as tracking in a traditional sense, in a wilderness sense, but I'm quite good in it in an urban environment, and my prey doesn't get away. So if you'd like to lend me someone, or my dear friend over here would offer up a service, we could probably take care of that.
Kind of nod. You're not a wood elf, but what are you?
I think that's rude to ask.
Simply a curiosity. No judgment.
Kevin, what of it?
So you do not stand with your cousins in the forest?
Never properly interacted with him.
Right.
Only heard the rumors.
Okay, I think that is enough separation to trust you. A calming voice looks to Deidre. How have you made company with the rest of these? Just kind of doesn't finish the sentence, but
Well, I was making the trek north from my hometown. I know my way around nature. Yeah, I've traveled some time alone as well. And also, I'm quite adept at finding something that's out of the ordinary if needed. So, yeah, if there's something out going on, there's a good chance I can find out what exactly. So, yeah, if you
had a look
need
to
my
you,
services.
as though you were
mostly used to plants, but yeah, with that comes the knowledge of the creatures, of course, of the land, and also looking into the patterns of the nature and people to see what the future might hold.
You think you might be adept at leading?
Well, not necessarily like tracking a creature, but I think our dear friend Gash over here is more adept at that. But I know my way around the nature, knowing what to look out for, and I can obviously help with any injuries or making sure that we have enough provisions on the road.
Well, Gash, you look to make yourself useful. Maybe you. This one here, kind of motioning towards Bedivere. Deidre can surely help. I would not mind, and I could provide some payment at least for your services. Could you give a look? At the very least, you look a bit more capable than what I was able to throw together and send on patrol. Could you accompany this woman here and the others?
Would
That's
be an
still.
honor.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Just say it would be an honor.
Dave, was it?
Oh, yes, indeed, sir.
Would you be interested in taking part as well?
Well, and Shad's thinking he's got away with it, that the atmosphere is calming somewhat. He's going to reset somewhat to Shad. He's going to say, well, I have travelled, sir, and I have seen things. I have seen bluebirds the size of turkeys. I have pursued Valdis to see his chickens and been disappointed in the reality of the situation. So I am happy to join on this merry band for the wonders and horrors I might witness.
Valdis.
Oh shit! I shouldn't have said that. Yes, Valdis. I'm good friends with him.
Good friend.
Indeed.
That is interesting company to keep. I do not meet many people who are companions with Solemns.
Well, I couldn't claim to be a companion as such, but we have met and we have spoken, and he took me in his confidence to a certain extent. I would value him as a friend, not so much his companion.
Well then, any friend of Valdis is a friend of mine.
Well, that is a wonderful thing to say, good sir.
Go ahead, Talbot.
My lord, I take back what I said about taking full responsibility for what this one says.
Yeah,
Pardon me.
it's fine. He kind of, right. Well then, your services are appreciated, and he's kind of thinking if he wants to. You can tell that he's looking as if he wants to kind of say a bit more, but he's kind of holding back based on interactions with this group so far. We will work out payment.
Would Talifa notice maybe a bit of him wanting to say a bit more?
Yeah, no, I mean, you all notice that for sure.
Okay.
Like, yeah, without having to make rolls.
So maybe Talifa might just suggest, my lord, there's there's a few things that I would need to report to you. Official poet court business, if we could have the room.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, pleasure to make your acquaintance. You have been welcomed in my hall, and your services are now officially it's like sanctioned, I guess, by myself. If you could all please wait outside, I must speak to Talifer here about a few important details. Roast chicken on the table. That's fine.
Just under the coat.
So, do you four clear out?
Yeah.
Right.
I think Shad will be happy to get out of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you shake your head, walk out. Yes, absolutely. So, as each of you kind of departs, close the door, it remains just Talifer and Bowen.
Alifa, like, visibly exhales and deflates, like, fucking hell.
Interesting group you have accompanied yourself with.
Please don't get me started, my lord. Just to be clear, they accompanied themselves with me, not the other way around.
Right. So, he kind of stretches a bit.
Now,
you can see he's kind of dropping his own kind of demeanor, right? He's like, kind of more casual.
Forgive me, sir, but I can't imagine you asked a member of the Poets' Court here to go chasing around in the wild after some beastie.
No. You may think me crazy.
Trust me, sir. You're not the craziest I've come across yet.
Well, consider it after you hear what I am about to tell you. I think that one or another in Thenaeus has figured out how to extend the power of the Thenaean Knight outside of their realm. You see,
that's impossible.
You see the walls. I mean.
Oh, hang on. Deirdre's just. This might be quite important.
Yeah. Deidre, go ahead.
If no one else is there, she would like to use her breath air to listen in.
Okay, to listen to a door.
No one else except the party, of course.
Okay, so it's just you kind of listening in.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody else will be able to see it. I guess. Yeah. If Shad, right, and Bedivere and Gash are all gonna see you kind of pull out this thing, and very obvious.
Yeah, she's going to do it like. I think the others are also interested, so she's just going to move and motion. Should I listen or?
Bedivere.
Yeah, that's literally the same thing I wanted to do.
You have the same thing. Oh my god!
Around?
If there's no one there, like except for the group, I just tell her to move over and listen in.
Okay, so it's the two of you listening in. All right, Shad.
Now,
please tell me you have a fucking brass here.
No. Okay. We're going a different way with this.
Right.
Shad sees what's going on, and this looks great. But understands that they are completely out in the open, that everybody outside that room is going to be able to see. So Shad's looking at providing some cover. So Shad is going to engage Gash with his spoils and his plunder. He's got to... Hey, Gash, here you go. Why did you try this? I don't think you got a chance to try the table over there. It's and he's very expansive movements with. He's going to make his long coat billow a little bit, and he's just trying to provide a bit of cover with those two at the door behind him.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a magnificent coat you have there. That one of the ones you were talking about, the ones who were made of whale dick.
Well, I really wish I could get a coat like that, but I was on the wrong boat. You know, if you've got to be, I believe you've got to be part of the crew to even qualify for taking the pelt, as it were.
Right.
Oh.
Jesus. And yeah, you continue on about the
Yeah,
fucking
we keep going.
code.
Yeah.
My God. Okay. So the two of you are speaking. Basically, I don't know if Gash is in on it in particular, but Shad is certainly kind of making this, you know, this big show of it and kind of using Gash a little bit to kind of provide a bit of
Yeah, I
cover.
mean, I think Gash figures that, you know, if someone finds the other two listening in, you know, everyone's gonna
Yeah,
be to
probably
blame
won't go.
anyway.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you know,
Fair
better
enough.
to go with it at this point.
All right. And Deidre and Bedivere are both leaned in, listening with the brass ear. Yeah, absolutely. So the two of you will hear what has already been said between these two, between Talifer and Bowen, but also you'll hear what comes up. So that's settled. Okay. So conversation with Talifer. A beastie in the woods, correct?
A beastie in the woods.
Right. So. Oh, and yeah, continuing on. I think, and I cannot be completely certain, but I think Danaeus is making a move, slowly but surely. I think at the very least, right now they are probing the borders. Right.
Sorry, forgive me, but that's impossible. The Knights of Thanaeus, they never leave. In thousands of years, they've never been able to ride out of the border. What makes it change now?
I am not sure. I know that there has been a change of leadership in Thanaeus.
But this
No
is
longer.
this is deep magic, my lord. It's not a simple trick. They've always been bound to Thanaeus' lands.
I know. I told you. You may think me crazy.
But
The report.
if this is true, we have nothing to defend against them.
I think people of Vogia, right? Are ever resilient. I do not think we are worried, although it will come with heavy losses if what I say is to be the truth. But I assure you, reports, and these are people that I trust, top the wall, said it was a singular individual. They had a very specific look to them, as if they were made of the trees themselves. Now,
Would Talifer ever heard anything like that?
yeah, in relation to the Knights of Thanaeus.
The Knights of Thanaeus, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could be a trick, it could be a ruse. In other, cases, Carwin, having been attacked, men have been going missing along the roads, particularly in that direction, right? So, I knew that if I were the one to take this myself to the High Chief, that Mylor would laugh me out of his hall. But a member of the Poet's Court and my word together, I think then that there would be some foundation to take it serious. I don't know if you know, I assume you're aware of your father and the situation ongoing that side.
What situation? Sorry.
Well, he's gravely ill.
And what of my brothers? Brannock and Derville, the two younger brothers.
The last word that actually, let me make a roll, because I don't know, like, the Sons of Cador, right? This is, yeah, I'll just make a straight d20 roll just to kind of check this. Okay. Well, Word has gotten that one of the sons of Kador is besieged within the city of... I gotta check. Yeah, go on. In the city
That's
of...
the iOS keep forgetting. Hang on.
Yeah, Farum. The other one, I'm not sure. I believe it to be the brash son.
That's Dervin.
But I cannot be certain. Only my understanding, and it's, he kind of, right, he's like, but your father still lives as far as my understanding goes, just not in the best of state.
And a sort of solemn look comes over Talifer's face, and then he sort of nods.
But indeed, the forest that I am asking them, and I guess by association yourself, to look into, I think that they may be there. Even if you don't come across, anything like that, I mean, if you do, then obviously you'd be the only one to know to remove yourself as soon as possible, right? So it might be best to have you there just to inform the others should they run across a Knight of the Net. But even if that's not the case, there's been much activity, much elvish activity in those woods.
Sorry, I'm not a warrior. I'll be no good out there. Absolutely no use whatsoever. I know it might surprise you as one of the sons of one of the sons of Kador, but I'm not like my father or my brothers. So
I understand. Then just be the eyes that I need out there. That is what the poet's court is trained for, is it not?
it is, my lord. And if you command, then I'll obey.
Your life is the most important, so right. Do not sacrifice yourself for many of these, and but if you were to find information that would bolster my claim, then we could certainly get reinforcements here much sooner.
Sire, I will not lie about what I see. That's one of the codes of my order, you know that.
Of course, I'm not asking to lie. I'm simply saying that if my intuition is correct, if my guess at what is happening here is correct, then...
Very well, my lord. Well, if I see it, then I'll support you. You have my word.
Kind of nods. He'll reach out to shake your hand.
Yeah, Talifer will definitely shake it, yeah.
He leans in here, and I'm gonna have to make Bedivere and Deidre make a perception check here.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is...
Super secret squirrel.
Yeah, he's quiet when he says this, right? Damn, what a
Before.
fucking good perception. Alright, Bedivere, you're the only one to pick this up. Deidre, you don't hear it? You hear like the
And he
muffling.
says it in ancient Vogian that no one else speaks.
No, unfortunately. He says, the tall one that is covered.
Yes.
I do not know what game or what task, what his ambition is. but I've seen skin like his own much in the recent days as well. We've had contact.
What do you mean skin like his own? What, more disease victims?
Oh no, he is not disease-ridden, unfortunately. He is a hobgoblin.
And Talifa's face just drops. Sorry, he must be a spy. We cannot let him roam free. He must be put away. My family have spent generations fighting the hobgoblins to the north, sire. They cannot be allowed to just roam free.
Keep an eye on him. I understand what it is to ask you, especially considering your family's history. Recent word is that the hobgoblins are looking to make amends, and if I am not mistaken, I think there is even an agreement with your father for a group of hobgoblins. They have set up a small settlement within the fuck, I do this shit again.
There's something Maya. There's something Maya.
Yeah, the Dismal Mire.
Dismal
Dismal
Maya.
Maya.
Yeah.
My lord, I don't doubt your sources, but there must be some mistake. My father would never allow that.
I thought so too, but my sources are... I mean, this is from the word of another member of your own court. So.
We're not all as reliable as I am, sorry.
Seek to disparage the name of the poet's court.
Just one or two. One or two choice individuals that I could mention.
Either way, I think it is... I'm curious. If he is a spy, it will reveal itself in time. I doubt there is much that could be learned, and if there is a convenient... if it is obvious that they are a spy and there is a convenient opportunity to take care of them, then maybe they can serve a better purpose out in the woods.
I understand, sorry.
Right. Well.
One thing before we go.
Mm-hmm.
And Talifa will reach down to the bundle that he's carrying at his side and undo all of the straps and clasps and hand it over to Bowen. Hilt first.
Kind of gives you like a questioning look. Like, what's this?
I took this from above my father's hearth many years ago. And I've had very few causes to use it. But if what you say is true about the Knights of Thenaeus, this blade and the others like it around the Kingdom of Vogwaldir might be the only hope we have. And he sort of nods to him to draw it, sort of shakes it a little bit in the scabbard.
Yeah, he's looking at you like, what the fuck? And then he will pull the blade free and he will see in its glory, I guess, right? The sword of Karn. He is quite taken, right? Like, in this moment, like, whoa, you know? As far as my understanding, word is that this was lost.
My father had that tale spread. He was ashamed that I took the blade when I left the court, when I left his Tor Karn in anger. It's my understanding, sorry, that there's only 12 of these blades left in Vog Muldair, were ever made in Vog Muldair, and less than half of those are left.
Yeah, the weapon.
If this is truly the blade of a Karn, then this was forged to fight Theneus and all those dark creatures from all the stories we've heard about.
Oof.
And I think you might be the one to wield it, sorry.
There's... You can see it's very tempting for him, but he is like internally having like a struggle with this. I think, as unfortunate as it may be, we'll say that he's got it like half drawn, right?
Yeah.
He'll push it back. I think this is your burden to bear. It is not my place to accept Sword of a Karn, not in such a way. And I believe it has a rightful place. I will not question why you took it. I am sure you have a graceful enough reasoning, but it is not my purpose to alleviate this regret.
I understand.
Okay.
Please, if anything should happen to me, say that this sword is returned to my brothers.
We'll do everything we can. You may need it in the wood anyways. If it is truly the case that a knight of Theneus is out there.
Talifin not.
Oh,
Wait.
Go ahead.
And he sort of starts clasping up the blade and stuff. If I should need you, sire, I should write. I should send letters to you. Would that be the easiest way to communicate with you?
Easiest way? No. He'll kind of turn his back to you and make his way over to what is kind of, it's not necessarily like, it's more like a dresser. It's got a number of drawers in it, and he kind of quickly passes through a few of them. And he will pull out a stone, and he will toss it from across the way in your direction. This is a ascending stone. I mean, that's how I know it.
Ooh.
I don't know what the fuck it's called.
Yeah, I know what you mean as well. That's
Yeah.
cool.
But specific to just speaking to him, right? So it's not like I'm not sure how ascending stones work in Pathfinder. I don't know if it's like you can talk to anybody, but in this case, it's like it's almost like a planter, right? Like you can connect to like one specific other, right? So, yeah, I'm sure you're aware of what this is. I assume they use these in the postcord, right?
They do for very specific and secretive missions, sire. They're obviously quite expensive, so we don't have access to them all that often. You are aware that these can be stolen and listened into?
I am, but that only has one it connects to, and he pulls free from his pocket, right? His own paired set.
I will I'll keep it safe, sire. How will you know it's me that's on the other line? On the other stone, sorry.
I know your voice, but in any case,
I use a cipher quite often in my written work, sorry.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the stories of Tor Arcane? I know it sounds silly.
Yes.
My cipher for Tor Arcane, it's Rodnap Gamzee, sorry. Perhaps if I start my conversation through the sending stone with that, you can know it's me.
Yeah, this is like a... You... fine. I'm not going to press you further on this, but I understand. Forward and Afghan.
Very good, sir. I'll be in communication with you.
You and the others. Need any supplies or such? I believe we should have a decent armory available. Basic needs, camps, tents, etc. Feel free. All right.
And can I say it was an absolute honor to meet you? You came to my tour once when I was just a wee lad, and I've wanted to shake your hand and speak to you ever since. And truly, honestly, Sawyer, this is a great, great honor. It really is. You're one of my many heroes. And he'll sort of be yappering as he wanders out the door.
He's kind of like... he's not like shy at that, but he's like... You can tell he's like a bit uncomfortable with the praise. He'll say, "I remember." As you kind of head out.
Alifa goes a bit red and just carries on.
All right. Shad, what is happening outside, I guess?
Well, is there any reaction from Bedivere and Deirdre from your two figures moving towards the door first? That's what Shad's going to be looking to read.
Sure, yeah. I'll say definitely Bedivere and Deirdre, you hear him approach. And I guess you'll hear like the last part, but you won't. The part that was muted was the fact that he was a hobgoblin, so only Bedivere would have picked that up, but everything else afterwards would have been kind of, spoken aloud in a way that you could hear. Bedivere.
Once they say their goodbyes and being a big fan and everything, I take the brass ear, stuff it into one pocket, and just start walking as far away from the door like in the line, and just hope that somebody does something that hides that I was listening in, because I don't have any idea what would be my excuse if I were to get caught, and I do hope that Adri does the same.
Okay.
Yeah, she will.
Fair enough. Okay,
She will walk along with you and act like you're having a conversation about something.
One thing, Bedivere, I just want to ask real quick, and then we'll get to Shad. Bedivere, hearing that Shad is a hobgoblin, was there any interaction, like any reaction or anything like that would have come from Bedivere hearing that?
I'd say every time there was one of these revelations, like the sword, the hobgoblin part, there'd be like a gasp.
Okay.
Every time.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So, a gasp, absolutely. Okay. Shad.
Seeing Deirdre and Bedivere moving away from the door, Shad will put his hand on Gash's shoulder. Let's move away a little bit, and and just steer Gash away. And as they're moving away from the door, Shad will be saying something. But while the decor's a bit shit, you've got to admire the level of catering he's put into it. He's a pretty good host after all. And looking for that to happen as the door opens.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And so Deirdre, you've made space away, right? So you're all kind of looking as casual as you can. And I'll say doing quite a good job at it, considering you've already kind of set yourselves up for it. So, yeah. So Talifer, you make your exit, and the others are kind of just standing around, talking to each other, kind of, essentially just awaiting your return.
Well, I guess onwards then.
Shad? and then Deidre.
Well, there you are, Mr. Talifer. Hey, you were in there for quite some time. Would you mind telling us what you were talking about? I'm very curious about the secrecy.
It's official court business, I'm afraid.
Oh, but you wouldn't be prepared to share that with your new friends, who have risked their lives to protect you?
Unfortunately not. No, I can't.
Well-
Not without a direct order from the High Chief.
Well, that's not very trusting at all, is it? You know, if you can't trust the people who help you out, who can you trust?
Indeed. And he gives him a knowing look.
And Shad won't get it.
Yeah.
Deidre will just be like, "You're right, sweetie. You look a bit red."
I look a bit red.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, because you.
I look a so Talifer will then say that in his own accent as well. I look a bit red, do I? Must be the heat in here, I guess. There's a couple of us looking a bit red, and Talifer will keep walking.
Oh. Start to make your way out. Does anybody say anything? Is anybody? Sorry. Check.
It's
Bedivere.
Bedivere.
Yeah, Bedivere and then Shad up next.
Well, when we're like making our way out, I go to Shad and say, "I know stuff. If you've got know stuff, we could trade." And I like tap at my wrist and point a little bit at his glove.
Shad will not understand this at all. Says, "Oh, you know stuff, do you? Well, I know stuff too. Maybe we should have a talk." And he's going to lean down and rub his knee suggestively.
Jeez.
I was gonna ignore that.
It's just trying to return some sort of weird gesture with another weird gesture.
Okay, that gets like total confusion because in my mind, Bedivere knows what he meant and it tries to figure out what that's supposed to mean, whether that's a threat.
And Shad will lean in and go, "You know, a nod's as good as a wink to a blind man." And you can't see him wink because of his scarf, but yeah, it's implied. Now then, Mr. Talifer, why are you so red? I'm incredibly curious about your situation right now. Very inquisitive, you could say.
Yeah, should be clear. It is quite cold.
My mother has red hair. Me and all my brothers got it. Actually, it's quite a weird quirk of the family. My father, nothing like it at all. It's fairly unusual in Vogmoldir, as I'm sure you're aware, Shad. It's fairly unusual for someone in Vogmoldir to be red, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I've seen an awful lot of bloodshed, and they tend to be quite red.
Talifer will just keep walking. He's going towards the armory to get geared up and ready to go.
Right. Bedivere.
I'll like move up to Gesh or Daedry, whoever is close, and say, "I think they're talking like that because Shad is an hobgoblin. They
What?
talked about it."
We could say
I
that,
don't know. Can't check.
yeah. We could say that you're basically talking to both of them as they're walking side by side, so you're able to tell Deidre and Gash at the same time.
Never been in a situation like that before. It's really enticing.
Heard a lot of things, but I didn't catch that particular stuff. Maybe we should just keep it to ourselves because.
I'm excited. Oh, sorry.
yeah, if that's something Shad really wants to keep secret, maybe we can, help him with that. I mean, he was getting quite defensive earlier, so I think when he wants to tell us, he will tell us. We can keep an eye on him for sure, but I don't think we have to expose him like that. Just
I mean,
Yeah.
that dude was a prick. He wasn't nice to me, he wasn't nice to you, he wasn't nice to him. I won't support that. I'm just excited to see where that goes with their jokes and knots.
Can Shad hear this? Is Shad the only one who doesn't? No, everyone knows. I would say, Bedivere, you've been trying to like be quiet about this, or you like?
Yeah,
Okay.
like the way a child whispers. You could probably hear it, but not in a normal tone, you know?
Okay. And
Well,
I'll
he's
say-
not actively listening; it's passive.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
happy that Shad is blissfully ignorant that his secret is out, and as
Yeah.
far as he knows, he has got the perfect cover.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we all got secrets, right? And it's nothing. Yeah. Keep an eye on him for sure, but yeah, you can't judge a book by its cover.
Says the witch.
You haven't seen half of it.
Alright. So, all continuing to follow each other. And Taliford leads the way to the armory.
Talfa is happy to walk off to go to wherever it is they need to go before they set out, whether that's the armory or somewhere else.
Oh yeah. So you're able to very basic stuff, but if anybody wants to kind of load up on some torches, maybe some basic kind of lean-to tents.
A tent,
situation.
yeah, I was going to say a tent would be
Yeah.
handy.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay.
And some
Everything for
yes.
free?
Yeah, I got no tents.
It's basically on a loan, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, you have to return it, but
yeah, knowing our luck, it's going to burn before, you know.
But yeah, Talif will just take a tent. He doesn't need weapons or anything like that. Maybe some more crossbow bolts if there's any lying around.
Okay.
A tent is for one person or two persons?
lean-tos are for one. You'd only have one. You'd only have lean-tos.
I'll take one as well.
And I'm tanky one.
Well, I'll chime in then. Question: Did have Deirdre and Bedivere and Gash have just had a little powwow, and now Shad is outed, even though he doesn't know it. But how about the rest of the conversation? Has that been shared amongst everybody out of Talifers, or is Shad in the dark about Shad and Gash in the dark about that?
Oh, I mean, Talifer hasn't shared just yet, and
No, I mean, because Deirdre and Bedivere heard everything apart from Shad
Oh.
being outed. Only Bedivere heard that.
yeah, I guess Bedivere or Deidre, would you have shared what you learned so far?
I think with Bedivire's outing of Shad, I would just first talk to Bedivere alone in private to make sure that we don't spill too much to earn the distrust of the others. So basically, we set our story straight and what we tell or don't tell Shad,
Okay.
especially given Bedivire's distrust for Shad at this point. And of course, we don't want to tell Shad stuff and Gash other stuff to make sure it's all lined up.
Okay, so
Uh,
so you haven't, I guess, you haven't had the opportunity to share what you heard so far.
No.
Right. I think that's more the thing, right? So I guess Shad and Gash would not know just yet the details, but I'm assuming you get the story straight and you'll eventually tell him, right?
Yeah, we'll come up with some version we will tell. don't think Deirdre won't tell too much, but of course, if Bedivere chooses to share more, then that's fine.
If stuff comes up without me being told not to mention it, I just drop it like it was nothing. Oh yeah, that's because he's did it. Oh yeah, look at that cool sword, something like that.
Yeah, I will just have the talk I just had about out in chat again, but with all the other secrets. So we can tell chat maybe one or two things about like the knights or the sword, but not the entire story. So we don't tell about chat's Tellifer stealing the sword, but just that he has a cool sword, for example. Just with a bit of threatening, like you know what I'm capable of.
Which
Yes, and to make sure that everything, everyone still trusts each other for as far as our secret to go. And she's also pressing Bedivere for some more secrets if he has more, just to get his attention from something else.
sadly I don't have any more secrets. I haven't been here properly.
Okay. Oh. Chad.
Oh, they're in this store, this armory, whatever it is. I don't think there's anything likely to be of any interest to Shad there. He's already pretty well geared up. He's just gonna sort of like look around the room with interest. You know, there's nothing there that's he's particularly looking for. He's just looking around like a curious individual, looking at stuff. Might make the odd comment. Says, "Bet you don't let many people in here, then, do you?" And stuff like that.
There would be a kind of like a warrior for the most part, right? Like kind of on guard, like watching as you all are able to get some, like as you're able to get a few things. They'll just kind of like look here and there, but not much. Not many strangers, I guess.
Well, that's a very wise policy. You know, you ought to be careful who you show this to. I mean, obviously we can be trusted. We've just helped the caravan on the way up here, but you know, if you don't want to show off something like this to any old Tom, Dick, or Harry.
As you look around, I mean, this is all basic stuff, like super basic. Nothing here is like special by any means. This is like the most common of the common, like some arrows, spears, very basic spears, all that kind of stuff. So it's not, it's not like a huge store of like, magical instruments. Go ahead, Gash.
Well, yeah, you essentially answered my question before.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to ask around if there was any chance of a salvo shield, because those are non-magical and they're supposed to be common.
Yeah,
So knowing what we might be up against, a little more protection against arrows might be useful.
Fair enough. Let me see. Salvo shield.
Or if needed, I can just pay for it.
No, just checking something real quick. Would you be able to find something like yeah, common and non-magical. I think you could find something like that. Okay. Taking a look at it really quick. Yeah, I think you can find something like that. They fight, I mean, historically, Volgians have fought elves, and elves are very big fans of arrows particularly. So I think a salvo shield.
That was my
makes
reasoning.
sense.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think a salvo shield makes sense for them. I'll drop it. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're able to find something like that. Yeah, is there anybody looking for anything in particular? If there's any potions up for grabs, no potion. So,
Don't worry, I got some already.
fair enough. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. So is there anything anybody is looking for in particular? I'm not gonna bother with the tents and stuff unless like we go away from here and then we kind of, right, come back to it and all that stuff. That'd be the only point in which we like worry about whether or not people have tents. Because you'd effectively be stealing, right? But beyond that, I think you're all good. So, all right, yeah. So you gather up the items that you need, and so yeah, you have a few. We'll say you have enough. Rations for how many days? I should ask. I'll keep track of this. I just need to know.
Well, I've got the standard 5, but if we can grab any more, then I'll take that. Oh,
I
no, I've
got-
got 7. I've got 7, sorry.
Yeah, I got 7 too.
Same.
Okay, 7.
I
then
think
we'll-
I got 2 for 7 users.
Yeah. Question. This harks back to Shad's previous campaign. I currently have effectively bear jerky as an unlimited ration. Do you want me to delete that?
No, you can use it, but it's getting bad. It's getting a little rough. But you can still, I'll
Yeah.
say you can still eat it, but it'll take you, yeah. You're getting to the point where you're like, oh, you're getting
Sick of bear. He's sick of
yeah.
bear meat. Yeah, dry bear meat. Yeah, he's every time we stop and if there's nothing else, he's gonna look at the bear meat and think, oh, he's just gonna. He'll probably have to take a will save.
Fair enough. But yeah. So all right. Yeah, I'll say that everybody has enough rations, so you feel confident that going out you'll be okay. And so you head on. Well, I mean, there's plenty of stuff you can get into in the city if that's what you're looking for as well. Like, you're not in any rush. So what does anybody want to do anything, or are they kind of anybody more focused on just whatever's at hand? So currently you've basically accepted as a group, just heading out into the woods and kind of basically being like a patrol scouting party just to see if you can find any information, and then just kind of return. As that's for the most part a rough idea of what you have been tasked to do, but it's not like we rush out the city to do it right now. So does anybody want to get into anything else while in the city before heading out back into the wild? We'll go with so Deidre first and then Bedivere.
Yeah, what's the travel situation like? Like, is it just the wild woods, or is there actually a road that we can travel far along the area we need to go to?
Yeah, so to get where you need to go, here, I'll give out these details. To get where you need to go as far as the wood stuff goes, it is going to take at least, if you're traveling by foot, or however that's going to go, you don't have a wagon or anything like that, traveling by foot, it's going to take you probably the better part of a day to get to basically to the tree line, and then from there further heading in. So it'll take a day of just travel along a road to get to the border of the forest, and then from there you have to make your way in, right? That's traveling by foot. If you travel by horse, or if you're able to secure yourself a wagon or some sort, then that'll be obviously to make it faster.
Yeah. My question was more, could we travel most of the way using horse and wagon, or do we need to ditch it like a quarter of the road in? And
I mean, you'd have to ditch it at the border, right?
Yeah, and we
And-
don't know how far we need to go in from the border.
Yeah, that's a to be discovered sort of thing. Yeah. Bedivere.
Go to like the nearest tavern and ask the ridiculous question whether a few kids, a few elderly, or otherwise, groups of people who need extra protection have disappeared, and if anybody like takes the bait, I pull out that ridiculous picture.
Right. Okay. So you kind of go ask around. As basically as people who are like you said, that need protection. So like young kids, right? Those, I guess, at risk, right? Has anything been going on with them as of late? Is kind of what you're asking, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you go down to the Rampant Ram, which is the yeah, it's a small, not the most well looking of taverns, but it's definitely yeah, it's one where you're gonna get the better kind of assortment of lower end people, which probably means people at risk, right, as far as dealing with that kind of stuff. And so as you kind of go look around and ask a few questions, a lot of people basically kind of brush you off. But one of them kind of speak up, and he's a bit intoxicated, right, and he's kind of slurring his words as he's talking. He's having, and it's still quite early in the day at this point, so he's definitely getting after it a bit a bit early in the day.
Okay.
And as you ask about, like, has anybody kind of gone missing, or children and such, yeah, he kind of speaks up. He has his mug in his hand. He kind of moves it in your direction. A little bit spills out onto the table that he's sitting at. You better believe it. This guy, this town, this city, they don't do anything about us poor folk who can't. And he kind of, almost like he's passing out, just kind of drifts. But he's still there.
I snap right next to his ear and say, what details, or is that just empty words? I'm not here to, I don't know, give out any arms. I need information.
I know everything. I know everything you need to know. My cousin's youngest daughter been missing for some time. And not just her, some of her friends as well. They don't talk about it. Nobody says anything about it because it's not important. But it's true.
Give me a name, the parents, whatever.
Of who? My cousin or the daughter?
The one I can talk to, the cousin.
Right. Yeah. He kind of snaps out of it a bit. He takes another long drink. You'd be looking for Saren. She's over by the river's mouth. Plenty of people know her. Tell her I sent somebody to find her daughter.
Well, you've done a great service.
And you pull out, he hasn't even seen the picture. You pull it out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen it, but maybe she has. Yeah.
I'll ask her.
Right. So, yeah, you come across somebody who potential lead. Shad is looking to seek out a place that would sell magic items. Let me just put party. Magic items is gonna be tough. Very tough. The way it works in Volgia, magic shops. Well, I remember, Chris. Magic shops here require, like, you have to be quote unquote kind of licensed to.
Oh, that was sorry, I didn't realize that was Vogia. That was definitely something in Thenea.
Yeah.
I don't recall it being in. Okay.
Yeah, basically this whole region is kind of how it works. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
The place you would have probably found it is probably like the cons where you would have found it like open.
Okay. If there's nothing above board, how about something that's not so above board?
Yeah, you can definitely go trawling around, trying to see what you can find. Perfect. So Deidre joins on the way.
Yeah, unless Shad actively tries to avoid it.
Right.
No. Shad's gonna say, I'll be honest. You know, when they're in the armory type place, I'll be honest. There's nothing here that I have much need for. I have more specialized requirements, and maybe that's the hint that Deirdre would latch onto.
No, she will. That would trigger her more to help you find stuff. Oh, sure, I'll help you find whatever you need, sweetie.
Well, why don't we go for a nice, pleasant walk through the town?
Would be lovely. Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So, Talifer.
Yeah, just before they depart, Talifer will try and sort of arrange a meeting point by a certain time.
Oh yeah.
Before they depart. And then he'll just look over at the two of them, specifically more at Shad, give him sort of like a withering gaze, and just try not to get into any trouble. I don't think Bowen's got much patience left for your antics.
Oh well, I can't help the humorous nature of your lords. I'm sure everything will be fine. After all, Danger is my middle name.
Is he not your lord too?
Well, I am from far and wide at this point. I've seen parts of Ekros that you couldn't even imagine.
Throw a turn away.
Okay, so we'll say that you all arranged to meet at the gate that leads out towards the north, right? So meeting up, you each kind of go settle your various business. So, would Bedivere be looking to chase down that lead regarding the cousin at the moment, or would that be like on a return?
Well, if I didn't spend too much time, I'd go there right away. I don't want to have like spend half a day there and risk them going on our way, going to do that mission. So if I feel that I have enough time left to check that out before we head off into the next big adventure, I'd do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Then yeah, I would say you definitely have an opportunity to kind of follow up on that. So you make your way down. It's not necessarily like a docks. It's almost like a river runs through Lynrid that kind of attaches to the main lake, Lake Muldir. The kind of so Lynrid is basically on the mouth of, or I guess the mouth, of the lake. so it's almost like a lake dock, I guess. As you head into this area, much of it is very much like, you know, this is like the blue collar area where there's a lot of working class type people. And I'll say that without having to trouble yourself too much, you kind of ask around, you know, I'm looking for the cousin that you were searching for. And yeah, it doesn't take you long before you come to a pretty small looking home. Pretty disheveled. Looks like the upkeep on it hasn't been going quite well, as of, you know, there hasn't been much, if any, in recent times. So you've been directed to, this is the location that you should be looking out for.
I determined go to the door and knock on it real hard, like 3 times. That was way
Yeah.
worse than I imagined it.
Yeah, so you knock on the door, and very quickly it's kind of answered, and there's a teenage girl kind of standing there looking at you.
Tell me,
And-
child, where's your mother?
Kind of caught, like, holy fuck, I'm looking at an elf, basically, right? Like an immediate, I guess, what is the most elvish appearance of Bedivere? His ears, maybe?
Ears and eyes, I'd say.
Yeah, the ears, not, yeah, definitely, like, right onto the ears, right, like, you know, and then staring you directly in the eyes, like, and a bit of a shocked look. She just kind of meekly kind of calls out into the rest of the home behind her, calling for her mom, and before long, like, a woman approaches who's probably about early 30s. She looks rough, right? Bags under the eyes, her hair is all out of whack. I mean, the clothes that she wears, she looks like a person going through a hard time. Indeed.
I stick the picture right in her face and say, your cousin sent me here. He said you lost a child went missing.
Who are you? My cousin
Doesn't
sent
matter.
an
Answer me.
elf to my house.
Yes, answer me.
She's like caught off guard. She looks at the picture. What is this? What are you doing?
Well, did the child go missing?
Yes, she did.
Did you see that thing?
I looks at the drawing. Not. She kind of invites you and, like, come in.
Right.
Close the door behind as you enter in, and kind of quickly leaves the room. And then kind of returns, and has a few kind of like papers, like, with her, right? A few, and she kind of sets them down on the table, and on each one is not basically the exact same thing that you have drawn on yours. My daughter was drawing that near the before she went missing. What is it to you?
Well, you're in luck. I, and like at loss at words. I saw that too. I survived. She might not be dead yet. When, where, whatever, and like it's a mix of terror and glee in the eyes because that might be finally the moment. Stuff works out, things get finished, and a little bit of, I don't know, trauma.
You have experience with this then? You can And she's kind of like speaking to herself, like you can save her, right? That's kind of like what she says to herself. Doesn't really say it out loud, but it's, you know, it's definitely kind of hangs. About 2 weeks back, last I've heard so far, and I've asked everybody that I can, she was seen down near the water's edge. Children play down there. And I've gone out there myself to look many times. No use, but maybe you have better luck.
There won't be any promises, except for that I will do my best to get that thing and not even bring it to justice, get it cold under the ground, whatever. No heartbeat, that's all I can say. And I'll try to save your daughter, dearest. That's like the secondary objective.
Yeah. Take that with you then, in case you need it. I don't really like having him around. The pictures.
I understand.
And I mean, without having to make a check here, like perception or anything, you would think maybe that like somebody might react a bit more positively to this news. This woman just seems a bit broken by the whole ordeal, right? So like you coming with promises, like, oh, we'll find her, right? It kind of just, you know, it's like just, you know, words on deaf ears, so to speak, right? But there's like a bit of like an acceptance, right? Like maybe.
The weirdo came and promised me everything. Let's
Yeah.
be a little reluctant.
Yeah. But if you say you can, then, and I guess for her, you're the first person to show up with a picture that, you know, so matches closely to what daughter was drawing. So all right. Gash, while in the city, is there anything that you might want to participate in as far as at this point you're like a ambassador for the orcs of Uruk, and as you kind of walk the streets, you know, I mean, you definitely get a lot of looks, you know, some of them more judgmental than others, right? Some are just like excited by the prospect that, you know, like an orc is, you know, like of Uruk, right, is in Lynrid. But there are others who are a bit more like, the fuck is this orc doing here, right? But is there anything you want to be doing, or are you just kind of going with the flow as far as heading towards the meetup point?
I mean, I would imagine that, you know, if Cash were to visit any kind of place, you know, he would start with taverns, most likely.
Okay.
You know, what's the best place to meet people?
Yeah, absolutely. So you start to go kind of, because you know you're not going to spend all day here, right? So you kind of drop in a few of them, right? You know, maybe you go to the same one that Bedivere starts with, the Rampant Ram, right? A few others, some a bit more higher class, I guess you could say, and then others a bit more, right, low. And so kind of what is Gash looking to do, right?
I mean, I would say because he didn't really hear a lot of the conversation, and, you know, he wasn't putting on a high brass thing out. I mean, I think he would mainly be, you know, gathering maybe not information, but trying to gather, you know, people's opinion on the stuff going on with Aeneas, and also what they think of the what happened on the walls.
Okay, so you're just trying to roll me, I guess, a society check here, right?
I imagine society. Not sure if. Let me see. Attributes.
Or diplomacy, I guess. That'd be another one. whichever.
Okay, sorry, that's initiative.
No, it's all good.
Square up.
Diplomacy.
18. Yeah.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, absolutely. You kind of make your way in, and as you kind of start to get to talking to some individuals, it definitely they warm up to you, right? They kind of right. Some of them a bit more closed off, but as you kind of start talking, as you start so you're essentially looking for information, basically what the general public feels about Thanaeus in the first place.
Yes.
And then on top of that, specifically what people might be thinking about the walls, right?
Essentially, gather in the mood.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as far as Thanaeus goes, anybody you ask immediately has like a very sour, incredibly, we'll say not hostile, but definitely very aggressive response. War is coming, surely, right? The chiefs of Vogia must, unite, and we must make a stand. Surely, right? All the elves of Thanaeus are at, they're attacking those people on the roads. They're raiding caravans, right? They're making life hard for those of us who live in Lynrid. And just generally pretty, racist shit about elves generally, right? I think they're, just the usual shit, right? That someone would kind of say, right?
20-eared leaf flowers.
Yeah, exactly, right? They hide in the forest because they know, if they were to make their way out, then they would be, dealt with quickly. And then, other mentions like we should just burn them out, right? That's like a big thing. We should just burn the whole wood all the way to Thanaeus. As far as what's happening on the walls, definitely, again, like this is Thanaean work. It is without a question. Not a single person goes against that narrative, right? Now, there's a different like reasons. Some are saying they're using, magics. They're trying to destroy the walls, and that might work. But you already know that the position where that stuff is happening doesn't really look to be tactical, right? It doesn't look like they're trying to destroy the walls. If they could do something that magical, they could have probably just wiped out an entire section of wall, right? But beyond that, one of them, yeah, you rolled an 18, right? 18. One person expresses the opinion that the elves are looking to reclaim. This is a specific phrasing, reclaim. That would insinuate that this was once elvish land in the first place, right? And we'll say this happens with a group, and as this person says reclaim, right? They're wanting to take back what they feel is theirs. The people in the group just shout it down, like, we were the first ones here, right? This has always been human Vogian land. But that specific turn of phrase gets your attention as far as reclaim goes.
Who is this person?
This is like a random, looks to be probably like a riverboat worker. Yeah, that's very common in this area. People who work on rivers, like shuttling supplies, up and down the rivers.
Yeah, I don't think Gash would comment on that last thing, especially.
Yeah.
Especially with how
aggressive the rest are.
The name, how Uruk, isn't part of a matter of reclaiming, too.
Yeah, fair enough, right?
Yeah, he better stay quiet on that.
Yeah. But yeah. So, and I will say that the impression that you leave off as you go and speak to the commoners, right? And you tell them, right, like who you are, your station. I'm, an ambassador of Iraq, right? Just kind of trying to build relations. And a lot of people seem to, at least like after the initial hesitation, a lot of people seem to be very kind of open and kind of cheering on. And, like there's some word about, the warriors of Iraq defeating a great enemy within the mountains and helping destroy, Dukan, which is not a real thing, but that still gets said anyways. Yeah. So, you feel you've done quite a decent job at putting the word out there in Lynrid to kind of help build relations between the orcs of Iraq and the humans of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So coming back around, Shad and Deidre, you're attempting to find a not so legal way at finding some magical item.
Yeah, the less salubrious parts of town, probably not far from the river as well, considering the kind of traffic that goes down there. Although that's more meta knowledge than what Shad would probably know. But
Yeah.
then again, Shad has been around boats at sea, so he probably does know a little bit about it.
What type of check would you like to make here to try to?
Let's have a look.
My assumption would be like a society check, trying to
yeah,
get
that's
in with
what
the.
I'm thinking, and I think that's entirely fair. It's just one of Shad's worst possible checks.
That
It's
was
not terrible.
why I wanted to ask what you were looking for, which you're already searching. That's fine.
It's more Shad's looking for somewhere where a perhaps unlicensed person that has acquired some magical items, maybe looking to shift them quickly at, probably above market value.
Okay. With a 15, yeah, you tend to kind of naturally make your way to the docks because that seems to be where a lot of lively trade. You stop in at like the local market, right? The open air, trying to look around, and there's definitely not anything magical or anything of interest really around those parts. And so kind of following, you've got a good read on people, so you're not like a fool when it comes to this stuff. So you're quite perceptive, and so you see, as you kind of start to make your way in the direction of the docks, things kind of get a bit more, underhand, right? As far as, there are handshakes that are made that are definitely passing items to and from each other and stuff like that. So, not a big deal. But we'll say with a 15, you're kind of going around, you're asking like, where could I find somebody, who's got some items for sale that, I'm going to say you're doing it in a way that doesn't make you come across as like a fucking, as like a cop asking, you know what I mean? In asking a bunch of thieves, like, where'd you get this stuff, huh? But, so I'll say you've got enough street smarts to kind of get past it. Yeah.
I'm in the market for this, for this kind of thing, and I'm just, I'm new to town, and I'm looking to get out pretty quick.
Right.
Well, perhaps, could you point me in the direction? Slips a couple of coppers or silvers, perhaps. I mean, if it's that kind of conversation, tell me how much money he's going to have to slip until he gets the right answer for a 15 society check.
Yeah, for 15, I think for 15 we'll say it's 15.
What, 15 copper, 15 silver?
We'll say 15 gold. Yeah, 15 gold.
God, Trill.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's just rough.
And this is only because it's like from one person to the other person to the other person. It's like one here, two here, one here, two here, right? But finally, you get pointed in the right direction, and it's a small, really like a singular person.
Let's deal with this.
A singular person. The ship could be run by one person. He doesn't need a crew, right? It's got a single room in the middle, And there's a small little deck, and it's got space for a good number of items underneath, but it's I don't know what you would call boats like this, but either way, it's like a single person one. So as you approach, he's standing on his deck. He's got a small kind of plank attached to the dock itself, but he's staying on his boat, right? He's not getting off. And as you approach, you see he'll kind of look up to you, and he kind of sees the person that you're with, kind of guiding you along, and kind of gives him a nod. And he'll show off this big toothy smile, but his teeth are black, like black, straight black. And bags underneath his eyes. He looks greasy, despite the fact that he's basically on water. If he jumped in, he would look, instantly cleaner, and just by taking a dip. So as you approach, he's kind of tense, he's kind of looking around a little bit. It's all too obvious, right? He's certainly inebriated in some ways. Kind of leans in. I've heard you're looking for something that you may not be able to find at the usual markets.
Well, yeah, yes, indeed. Perhaps we should talk about this. Not so much in the open air. Perhaps you could invite me below deck for a drink or so.
No.
We can have a little chat.
There's this like paranoid. No. Right? He keeps you at a distance. He makes sure that you don't get on the plank to his boat. Like, stay right over there. No. Here's good. They're not gonna bother us, and I can fetch anything you need, and I'll bring it. It's not a problem. What are you looking for?
And can Shad roll a perception to get a grasp of this nervous disposition?
Yeah.
Is he? Can he read more into it?
Fair enough. Yeah.
But no, he can't.
Seems like a druggie who's just a bit wired, right?
Well, I have tastes that may be a little bit more hard to satisfy. Not in terms of how should we say imbibement, but in terms of items to use. Would you have anything that perhaps is a little too warm for you to hold at the moment? That you would like to pass along?
Indeed. A bit warm for me to hold. Yes. I think you. Yeah. He turns around, and he quickly shuffles away with this, almost like ratty style of body movement, as he kind of quickly shuffles into the room, right? The singular kind of, and he comes back out, and he's got this small, it's not ornate, it's a very plain box, but it fits, let's say it's probably about, I don't know, about like, yeah, a very small box. Let's just say that. I don't want to fucking give measurements on it. So he steps out. A bit hot to hold on to. I know exactly what you're talking about. This. Perfect. Very hot. It kind of.
Okay. Is it obvious what it is, or is it? It's in a closed box, is it?
Yeah, it's in a closed box.
Okay.
No.
Let's shall play along. Okay. That does sound interesting indeed. And what would the cost of your trouble to part with this item be? Then.
He's kind of biting at his bottom lip. His black teeth are on display. It's very gross. And as you've stood here a bit longer than you care for, the smell of this person is now reaching, what you thought might have been the water itself. You're now realizing is this individual. Yeah. And he kind of holds up his fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 500 gold pieces. I promise you. This is. Oh, this would be perfect.
500. That is very rich indeed.
It's worth much more. I tell you that.
Well.
This is a deal. A great deal.
Indeed. Well, for 500, I'd say I would like to know exactly what I'm what I'm exchanging currency for. But on the other hand, I'm happy to take a gamble for, say, on the toss of a coin. I will take it for. I win. I would take it for 250 and walk out of your sight. On I lose, I will pay. I will pay 600. How does that sound?
Kind of thinks it over. He's very confused by the numbers, right? Like he looks like he doesn't even look like he knows math all that well. Like it's like this thought process is really hurting him, right? His eyes kind of go up into his his forehead, and he's like, kind of squinting. Sure, okay, that's a fun deal. Yeah, 250 if you win, 600 if I win.
Yeah. Indeed. Shad will take a copper and put it in his gloved hand and says, "You can call it in the air," and he will flip. And let's roll the dice.
Okay. How do you want to do? Do you want to do like a D4 and you get 1 and 3 and they get 2 and 4, or do you want to do?
Yeah.
1,
Let's do
2,
that.
3, 4. All right, I'm gonna let you do it because I don't want to be the one to.
So I get 1 and 3. You get 2 and 4. So
Yeah.
I'm odd. You're evens. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
It
Well-
lands. He looks down at it. He's like, 250 gold is still quite a lot.
You're a very good sport. And Shad will reach into into the bag with the green ribbon on it and extract 250 gold and pass that over.
He'll hand you over the box without any issues at all.
This is the mystery box.
Indeed. Yeah, he hasn't done any type of. It's been out in the open the entire time, so there's never a chance.
Okay, and Shad will carry around. Shad won't even look at it. Shad will put the mystery box into the bag with the green ribbon, and he will turn. Is Deirdre still with Shad?
At a distance, because she's very curious, but she doesn't want to get involved with these people.
And well, in that case, Shad will say, "Well, thank you very much for your time, and best of luck going forward." And Shad will move away from the ship.
As you walk away, he'll just kind of call out real quickly. Be careful with that. Don't shake it too much. And that's it.
Okay. Well, it's in his special bag, so he should be safe in there. Can Shad roll something to, see whether he's going to panic on that based on his knowledge of what it could be? I'm just trying to think what he could roll. I mean, there's crafting, there's arcana, there's survival.
I'll say survival.
What do you think? Survival.
Yeah.
Okay.
The 12. What could be so worrisome? With the 12, I think Shad is
If it's something rare, he wouldn't know it on a 12, would it?
Yeah. I think. I mean, you can tell me if you're certainly paranoid as you think, and you can't come up with any obvious answers for what you need to be very careful with. Not shaking in a box this small. I guess that's really the giveaway.
Yeah. Chris knows, or Chris has got his suspicions.
Yeah.
But Shad probably doesn't.
Yeah.
Because if it's what Chris thinks it might be, it's quite a rare and expensive substance. But he'd have to do spend a bit of time in private, probably trying to identify it.
Indeed. So, everybody finished up with everything they wanted to do. So, would we say that at this point, given the time, I'm going to say, Bedivere, as far as tracking down this creature, right? I'm just going to say it openly. You would probably have to make the decision if, we'll do, let's do Talifer first and then, yeah.
No. If you want to finish off Bedivere first, that's fine,
Okay.
and then I'll round us out. That's fine.
Fair enough. Okay. I was gonna say, the decision to chase after that is gonna be right. You have to discuss it with the group, right? Because it would require staying in town. So there's an option there, as well as an option seeing to it whenever you return from doing whatever it is. So just like a heads up on that. That'll come up in the conversation when everybody reunites. But before we get to the reuniting, Talifer.
Talifer, I presume Talifer's been to Lynrid a couple of times.
Yeah. You're familiar with the
there-
city's layout.
I don't imagine there's a particularly big presence of Poets Court representatives, but maybe one or two sort of drop boxes or places where he can go to have notes delivered.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So he'll head to one of these places, I'm presuming some sort of like small, I don't know, theatre or something. And he will write 2 letters.
Okay.
And he'll write one of them in his sort of typical Poets Court cipher. It seems fairly innocuous and pretty silly, to be honest, reading through it if you don't know what it means, and then he signs it off. There's Rovna Gamzee. Yeah. And he sends that one to the Poets Court in Vogmaldir.
Okay.
And that letter details everything that Bowen has told him.
Yeah.
All of the potential ramifications of that in the south. And yeah, he sends that one directly to the Poets Court.
Yeah. As well as everything you've seen so far, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And also reporting on his previous mission.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And then the second letter he writes as himself. And he sends this one to Tora Khan to ask about his father, ask about his wellness, and to question the rumor that there are hobgoblins living in Tora Khan.
Dismalmire.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
But he knows his dad can't read, so he's addressing it to one of the people in the court that he can read.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So you settles up. You send them. You put them in the appropriate. We'll say. I mean, we'll have to figure out a system, but it's assuming right. Letters go in different spots depending on the direction that they're heading, right? And then.
Yeah, and I think that we still said that the Warband of the West Wind, one of their jobs is as a mail delivery service.
Yeah. So yeah, you set that up, and is that everything?
Yeah, that's everything for Talifer.
Perfect. Okay. So you all rejoin each other at the basically at the same time. We'll say that the last one to arrive is probably actually Bedivere, right? Considering the what you've been looking out for, trying to research or trying to find, and so you all reunite. Each of you kind of satisfied with the various things you've been able to accomplish, and information you've been able to gather. So the assumption here is that you would have met up, and the goal would have been to start right away on this mission out into the wilds. That'll be a couple of days though, and so I think, at least for Bedivere, right, there's probably some pressing, maybe like a sense of urgency regarding what's happening or what may be happening within Lynrid itself. But as you arrive all together, feel free to discuss.
Well, you all took your time. What took you so long?
Okay, and with like the most a mixture, like an expression of glee on his face, and then like catching himself, no, he shouldn't be happy. I say, well, I found whatever I was looking for, and we got a new objective. I will need your help without asking whether you'd help, but just assuming.
With,
A child's gone
what?
missing. Way too happy.
And that's a bad thing, yes?
Of course, of course. And
You
I
might
had
want
a
to
chat with the mother, and she had drawings.
tell your face that this is a bad thing.
Oh, of course it is. I know. But the good thing is we can do something about that.
I mean, children go missing all the time, don't they?
Unfortunately, they do.
What's so special about this one?
Well, and I like take out the drawing, the original one, and the drawing from the mother's gave me, and say, "You see, the mother has given me. You see, and like they're similar, not the same, but similar, with too much glee."
What am I missing here?
We're going on a hunt.
Anyone, please help me out. I'm clearly missing something here.
Do they actually look similar, or is it just because they're both drawings made by children that they are similar?
I would say they're quite similar. Yeah.
Has Talifer ever seen anything like these doodlings?
Like these.
The drawings?
Actually, I mean, you
Run a
remember the
check.
poet's chord? Yeah. Let's do a check. Let's just say like a occultism check, maybe.
Occultism. Okay.
Something along those lines. Wow.
Oh, those drawings.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Sorry.
you see this and it immediately sparks a to your understanding. This is actually something that kind of, we'll say, pops up occasionally, right? But it tends to, for whatever reason, be associated with missing children, leaving drawings behind, such as this, and sometimes other members of the family will also go missing, and the only connecting point is these drawings. Your experience with it is that nobody has really kind of been able to find a creature that does this. It's I would say for Talifer, this could be like a serial killer, right? Like somebody who does this, and this is like their calling card, so to speak. But it could also be like a creature that just nobody's been able to find or stop before. And it seems like within the past, couple of days and everything, like the fact that this is only a couple of days removed, I mean, here's a chance for something big. But, so far, nobody's been able to do that.
Talifer will, as it comes to him, relay that to the group and just say, I don't know, maybe that he didn't notice initially.
Yeah. Well, the drawings are so bad that it took you a second to really get what they were trying to display.
All right, so he really sort of peers in, and then relays that to the group.
Yeah.
Well, let's get going.
Where?
Well, the lake. That's the thing I've heard.
Do you realise how big Lake Muldeer is?
Yeah, that's why I'm asking you. Like, everyone.
You want to search the whole lake?
No, there's this place of the children, they play there, where the child got lost, whatever was the name. We'll we look for traces, I don't know. That's a lead, a real lead.
it's as good as we've got, I guess. You know precisely where we're going, though. We're not just sailing out into the middle of Lake Mulder to find.
The children aren't playing in the lake.
I've
No
children play
worries.
all over.
Yeah, no worries about that.
Well,
Okay.
it's a start, I guess.
Deidre.
Yeah. Look, sweetie. I know this must be very exciting for you somehow to go on a hunt for missing children, but I think we just got an assignment from the chief up here. I'm not sure if you can just drop that and chase something else right now. I'm not sure if Telefer or the others agree, but it would be unwise to just go on a hunt for something without consulting them first. So
I think it's in
I
their
would love to
best
help, but
interest. No, sorry.
yeah, I would love to help, but maybe now is not the best time. I understand this is could be time sensitive, but if it's happening all over, then yeah, I think the other threat is more severe about the entirety of Lynrid being attacked or whatever else. I'm not sure what is the. I think the priority has to lie with protecting the entire Vogian territory here, not just some missing children.
Noted on list, doesn't care about children.
That's a good one.
She does say this with like a heavy heart. You can see her face drop down from her usual friendly look to more concerned and yeah, almost scared look of like, yeah, this is a tough choice, but we have to make this call.
Chad.
Shad will chime in and says, I have to agree with Deirdre. The good Lord Browen. He suggested he wants us to go and hunt in the wilds, and I suggest to be. I believe that's closer to the Duras Mountains than the Lake Muldeer. Your quest for the children would send us in entirely the wrong direction.
You'd be heading in the same direction. Sorry, to be clear.
Yeah,
the
but that's not the way Shad wants to go.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, for either or, it'd be the same. Yeah. So. But yeah, I hear you.
I'm gonna be. Fuck. I want to do the roll on that. What's my sense motive on that?
Yeah, I mean.
Well, I mean, do you want to do a roll off against Shad's deception?
It's a tough
If
one
it
to
comes
beat.
to that, that's determination, mate.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
determination.
Perception and deception. Fuck it. Do a quick roll.
Incredible.
Okay.
I think it's. Oh my!
Oh!
It still beats it though. Oh
Yeah.
my god! Worst roll.
Hero
but
point.
You're gonna hero point it? Oh shit!
I'm gonna hero point it.
What time are we on? Screw it. Yeah,
22.
screw it. Okay. We'll do this.
I just
You're gonna hero
imagine
point
us
as well?
staring at
Yeah,
each
you're damn
other.
right.
Oh, here we go.
Just staring. No, that's not true. Oh, fuck.
He's
The
Damn.
very
intense
convincing.
staring, gathering that intention.
You're not very familiar to this region, so you could be right.
Mad and disappointed. That's what I am.
Burned 40% of the group's hero points on that.
Yeah. Talifer. Talifer.
I think if we're going that way, it may help us to do a little bit of good.
It immediately goes past the deception. So for a second, I guess you believe that it would be going in the wrong way, Bedivere, before Talifer speaks up and says, "Well, it's the same direction, right?" So, but
Well, Talifer would know, wouldn't he?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, you would be the most like trustworthy person as far as what direction is where, right?
And keeping up his deception, Shad will go, "Oh, I was mistaken. I do apologize."
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
We should head out right now.
Pretty much.
Well, what's the focus, I guess?
I think my stance is obvious.
Yeah, I'd say it's 2-2 now. So that's why I asked Ash. Will the focus be heading into just like the request as it is, or
You get those puppy eyes and remember that predator handshake.
Okay, let's go with Better for now.
Yeah.
shit? All right.
And someone said I don't have social skills. Well, the character doesn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, puppy
So-
eyes. Let's go.
Let's humor him for now.
You'll make a quick stop, and if you don't find anything, you got to get back to the mission at hand, right? And so the group departs, focused on reaching the portion of the lake, right? We'll say it's like the lake edge, I guess. You're basically walking the same direction no matter which one you're focused on. But yeah.
So sorry, there's a significant water to this? I'm just trying to think what is Shag going to do with his horse?
Yeah, are you gonna ride?
Yeah, but if we're going out into the middle of the lake,
No, you're not going out into the middle of the lake. You're taking the road, and there's along the shore of the lake is the location where.
then Shad will be taking his horse. He
Yeah.
will not be leaving his horse unattended.
Okay, fair enough. And so as a group, minorly split, I guess. Shad and Deidre having one belief, and Talifer not seeing the harm and stopping along the way, because to kill a creature like this, this is a major tale, right? So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, so there's definitely some, maybe a bit more selfish ambition there. But
And he's not going to be the one killing it, is he? He'll be the one that's writing about someone else killing
but still, there's
it. I want to see someone kill it.
yeah. Do people remember the person, or do they remember the song? Yeah. But in any case, with that as your destination, you all set out. Group of 5. Some secrets hanging in the air, right? It seems that most people have an idea of something that Shad is unfortunately not privy to at the current time. But also, Bedivere and Deidre holding on to some other information. I mean, you would have heard the use Shad, right? Out in the woods and da-da-da-da, right? You heard all of that. The only thing that Bedivere heard that Deidre didn't was the Hobgoblin reveal, but everything else was heard. So as you depart with these secrets between each other, well, an open secret, I guess, at some point, as far as Shad's identity goes, you depart as a group of 5 into the wild, away from civilized, society, and I think it's a good place to pause and pick up right at the shore. So, yeah, thank you all for playing. Let me go ahead and sign out on the stream, and I'll be back in just one moment.
Gotcha, boss. Cheers for that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks, Travis. Good fun.
All right. Thank you all for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed. That is our session 3 of our Monday campaign. Let's see. Okay. So thank you all. Yeah, session 3 of our Monday campaign, Bitter Grudges. We'll be back this Wednesday to kind of do like a hangout, community kind of stream. So in any case, if you'd like to get involved in both either the community, where we do a lot of community world building and stuff like that, or potentially be a player in a future game, the best place to be is in the Discord. So if you'd like to get involved, the best place to be is there. feel free to make your way over. And yeah, we'll be back on Wednesday to kind of hang out, do our usual stuff. Yeah, hope you all enjoyed. Hope you have a good one, and maybe we'll see you on Wednesday. If not, we'll see you when we see you. So.